Welcome to Amazing Home Hacks. Today I'm going to show you how I made this multifunction workstation that puts many of the tools I use right at my fingertips. My main objective was to have a workbench that would hold my table saw and have an extension to let me run out longer pieces of stock. And I wanted to incorporate a shop vac to suck up some of the sawdust. I wanted a bench that was taller than usual because I find that a more comfortable height to work at. This plastic storage unit is a leftover from another project, so I incorporated it into the deeper side of the workstation. You can just as easily add more plywood and eliminate this if you choose. It's recessed a few inches, and that makes space to tuck away a few more handy tools. This helped me make as much use of the cubic space underneath the work surface to store tools and hardware. I mounted a power bar near the table saw and plugged the saw and the shop vac into it. The shop vac switch is always in the on position and begins operating before I turn on the table saw. I mounted a slide-out shelf on some drawer slides to give me easy access to the miter saw. On the shallow side, there's lots of space to store clamps, hammers, a vise, glue, and tons of nails, screws, and other bits of hardware. With a designated spot for everything, it's easy to keep things organized. So let's go through how I made this. There are 5 main panels that make up the workbench, and then 4 smaller ones that make up the saw support. This is the cut list I took to the home center, and I had them rip the plywood sheets. Pause here if you care to make note of them. This is a big head start to some of the sawing and makes it easy to fit the material into my vehicle. I started construction by boxing in around the plastic shelf unit. These corner clamps make it really easy to get the panels squared up before gluing and screwing them together. Here, I'm cutting out an opening to let me connect the vacuum hose to the dust port on the table saw. Now with the side panels secured into place, I'm ready to add the base and the casters. This base support is made up with 2x2 framing materials, with locking casters secured to the corners. So far, everything seems to be working out great. Now let's see how square everything is when I go to install the top. Those corner clamps really did the trick. It fits perfectly. Now a box to support the table saw. You'll need to make sure the height is adjusted to whatever saw you own. You want the saw table to be just a bit higher than the work table surface. That way the material coming out of the back of the saw won't jam into the adjacent edge of your work table. My next step was painting up some trim and then getting that installed. I covered the worktop surface with multiple coats of a water-based semi-gloss coating to harden it up and make it easy to keep clean. For the handle, I was lucky to have a leftover piece of curtain rod tubing and some dowel that fit inside perfectly, so that became a handle to pull it around. Using leftover scraps from the plywood, it was easy to make brackets and holders to secure my hand tools and accessories into place. There's plenty of space to put those frequently used tools right where I need them. Below the saw, I made brackets to hold the rip vents and the miter gauge. Those plastic take-out food containers are perfect to sort and hold your hardware bits and pieces. Back on the power tools side, I store the hand tools in plastic boxes. Larger items like the circular saw and a portable vacuum go on the bottom shelf. This workstation is made up of simple, straight cuts using relatively inexpensive materials. It cost me in total about $150 for this. You can easily make adjustments to the height, width, and depth to suit your particular needs. I know this is going to make me a lot more productive. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more amazing home hacks.